Welcome, lambs. Welcome to your True Crime Tuesday. In today's episode, we're talking about a shocking case coming out of Birmingham, Alabama, where a 20-year-old woman texts that she was kidnapped, then turned up tortured and murdered. Today, we're talking about a case that was recommended by our own resident lamb, Christina Bobo. It's the horrible, nauseating case of Mahogany Jaquise Jackson. Before we get into that, I want to say hi, everybody. My name is Kai. If you're new here, this is Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide, the Tuesday edition. Also, if you didn't know, this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my lambs and Patreon, patreon.com/Love and Murder. So if you want to be a supporter of Love and Murder, that is one way to do it. And another way is by simply sharing this episode. Now let's get into this True Crime Tuesday. Mahogany Jackson, who was only 20 years old, she was described as being 122 pounds, 5'3", and a mother to a 3-year-old daughter, had messaged her mother early on Sunday, February 25th, 2024, saying, quote, "Send the police apartment 3, held hostage, don't call." She had also sent her location to her sister. Now, as a mother, if I get that text, I'm literally shitting my pants. I'm not even messing with you. She then sent another text which read, quote, "I've been kidnapped. Send help. Don't call." The woman's mother immediately called police, who took action. The mother said, quote, "She sent me a text message that said she was being held hostage and sent her location." The location was at the Serenity Apartments in Birmingham, Alabama. Police rushed over to the apartment complex and they did see somebody there, but it wasn't the kidnapped woman. They did interview that person, but they went ahead and moved on because there was no evidence that anything was going on. Mahogany's mother, Gail Maddox, was obviously left just distraught after this text, after hearing that the police didn't find her child. You know, how would you feel? Think about this. She said, quote, "I don't know where she is. I need to know something. I feel it in my stomach. My daughter would never say call the police, but she was afraid, and that's why she asked us to." So, with the help of the community, her body was found on Monday, February 26th, which was literally the next day, at around 2:19 a.m. And the body was found under a mattress in an illegal dumping site on the 1700 block of Laurel Avenue in southwest Birmingham. Police said she had been shot at least once. Once they took the body for autopsy, another thing came out that investigators said was she was tortured in a horrific manner. It said that it looked like she had been beaten outside while she was naked. She had been stomped on. She had been kicked. She had been dragged naked in the street. She had been handcuffed. She had been beaten. She'd been pistol whipped, and she'd even been spat on. Like, all that wasn't enough. You then spit on her. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Police Chief Scott Thurman said, quote, "The facts of this case are deplorable and sickening." Within 48 hours of finding the body, Birmingham detectives arrested 7 suspects responsible for Mahogany's murder, kidnapping, and sexual assault. Police believe that Jackson and all 7 suspects knew each other. Quote, "I would say all these individuals were acquaintances. They were not strangers to one another." People, be careful of who you hang around. Not everybody is your friend. Listen to the warning signs. There are warning signs. People are not that good at hiding. On Friday, March 1st, an 8th suspect was arrested and was charged with felony murder and kidnapping in connection with the case. So let's go through everybody who was arrested and all their charges. So Giovanni Clapp, 23 years old, was arrested for felony murder, kidnapping, sodomy, and assault. 25-year-old Blair Green for felony murder, kidnapping, and sodomy. 25-year-old Tasia Lewis for felony murder and assault. 25-year-old Francis Harris for capital murder, sodomy, and kidnapping. 23-year-old Sanaya McCall for felony murder, kidnapping, and sodomy. 18-year-old Jeremy McDowell for capital murder, sodomy, and kidnapping. 24-year-old Brandon Pope for capital murder, kidnapping, and sodomy. And then the 8th person who was arrested was 23-year-old Ariana Robinson, who was charged with felony murder and kidnapping. Birmingham homicide detective Mark Green said that Mahogany was taken to several locations during her kidnapping. Quote, "It was absolutely disgusting." During a preliminary hearing on Wednesday, February 28th, the prosecution presented cell phone videos, videos, lamb, and images taken by the defendants. Detective Green testified that the video showed Mahogany being dragged, assaulted, spat on, slapped, kicked, and punched while multiple suspects held guns pointed at her. Detective Green also said that Mahogany was never free to leave during the recorded events. The prosecution alleged that Mahogany was initially beating outside of Brandon Pope's home while she was naked, with some of the suspects assaulting her while others recorded. She was then taken to an apartment and sexually assaulted at gunpoint. Testimony also revealed that Brandon then drove Mahogany to the location where she was killed, and he was accompanied by Jeremiah and Francis. And once they got to that location, Francis reportedly shot Mahogany in the back of her head. So, after assessing the evidence, Jefferson County District Judge William Bell found probable cause for the defendants to be charged with the majority of the crime. Judge Bell handed over 1 count of capital murder for Brandon Pope, 2 counts for Francis Harris, 1 count for Jeremiah McDowell, and a single felony murder count for Giovanni Clapp and Tasia Lewis. All suspects were held with no bond in the custody of the Jefferson County Jail. Police Chief Thurman condemned the deplorable acts against Mahogany, calling the facts of her murder, quote, "undoubtedly one of the most heinous acts I've seen in my career." He also credited the family's quick response and the citizens who actively participated in the search effort, which helped the police in swiftly apprehending the 7 initial suspects within only 48 hours of the investigation. And that, lambs, is the horrible case of Mahogany Jaquise Jackson. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Christina Bobo. If anybody else has any cases that they want me to cover, the link to request that is in the show notes below, or you could email me at noconductradio@gmail.com. Oh my God. Lambs, what did you think about this episode and this case? There's no update so far because everything just now happened, but I have to keep updated on this case. People, watch who your friends are. Just because they hang around you, just because you're lonely and you want people to be around you, does not mean everybody is your friend. I literally rather just stay by myself. And I'm not just saying this. I really do. I have friends, but when people come around and they act kind of shady, I'm very swift to cut that friendship. That's it. Do not hang around people just because you want people around. You're safer by yourself sometimes. I'm not saying don't have friends. Don't get me wrong, but pay attention to all the red flags. If people aren't calling you back consistently, if people aren't trying to hang with you, but that you see that they're hanging with other people, every excuse in the book is made up not to hang with you. People are being rude to you in your face constantly. I'm saying on a consistent basis. These people are not your friends. Like I tell my child, be okay with being by yourself sometimes. That's just how life is. I feel so bad for this woman, and I'm glad that everybody was caught. And I'm like, what the frick is wrong with you people? How is that your frickin' evening activity? Like, are you serious? You couldn't go play Jenga or something? Video game, something? Raping and torturing a poor woman, 20-year-old woman who has a child? That was your evening activity? And she's not even a big person. 5'3", 122 pounds. She was a little bitty thing. And y'all are just tossing her around and laughing and videotaping this and taking pictures? For what? So you can go back and look at later? Show your friends? Who wants to see that shit? What the hell is wrong with you people? You know what? Before I get angry, I just want to say that I hope you have fun in prison. I hope Big Bubba shows you what Mahogany went through. All of y'all. Anyways, that's all I have to say. I don't have a poll for this horrible crime. I really don't. I haven't even fully wrapped my head around it yet. So I don't have a poll, but I do want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please go ahead and let me know what you thought about this frickin' case. Leave me a comment and I will see you in the next episode. Don't forget, I put out the full episode just yesterday. I didn't get to it on Sunday, but I did get it out yesterday. So if you haven't listened to that case, go back and listen to that one. That was put out just yesterday. It was, oh my God, a case of a father who literally murdered his daughter just because he just didn't like any fiber of her being. And get this, she was only 5. She was like a disabled 5-year-old. So go back and listen to the case of Harmony Montgomery. That was just posted yesterday. That's all I have for you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.